Nobody thought it was going to end the way it did. They had been walking for hours. Some of them had left before sunrise, crossing the hills around the Sea of Galilee on foot. Following word of mouth, Jesus was somewhere on the other side of the water. They did not know exactly where. They just walked toward where they thought he would be. And when they arrived, he was already there. There were 5,000 men in that crowd. That number does not include the women and children, which means the actual number of people on that hillside that afternoon could have been 15,000, 20,000. Nobody was counting. They had not come to be counted. They had come because something in them, some hunger deeper than anything food could satisfy, was pulling them toward this man. Jesus saw them coming from a distance, and the Gospel of Matthew says something that stops you cold if you read it slowly. It says he saw them and had compassion on them. Not pity, not obligation, compassion, the kind that moves from the inside out, the kind that does not calculate the cost before it responds. He began healing their sick. He sat with them, he taught them, for hours. When the afternoon started turning toward evening, the disciples came to Jesus with what they thought was a practical solution. "Send the crowd away," they said. "Let them go into the nearby villages and buy themselves something to eat." They were trying to be helpful. They were thinking logically. And Jesus looked at them and said, "You give them something to eat." The disciples stared at him. Philip did the math out loud. 200 denarii worth of bread, that is 8 months of wages, would not be enough to give each person even a small piece. They were not being faithless. They were being realistic. And Jesus already knew what he was about to do. He was giving them the chance to realize on their own that this situation was beyond them, because it was only when they reached the end of what was possible that the miracle could begin. Andrew found a boy in the crowd, a child who had brought his own lunch, 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. Andrew brought him to Jesus and then said the most honest thing anyone says in this whole story. He said, "But what are these among so many? What are these among so many?" That question is not just about bread. That question is the question every human being has asked at some point when facing something too large, too broken, too overwhelming to solve with what they have in their hands. What I have is not enough. What I am is not enough. What is this small offering against this enormous need? Jesus took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven. He gave thanks. He broke the bread, and he gave it to the disciples to distribute to the people sitting on the grass. What happened next was witnessed by somewhere between 5 and 20,000 people, and recorded independently by 4 different authors who would have had every reason to leave it out if it had not actually occurred. Everyone ate. Not a small portion, not a taste. Everyone ate until they were full. And when Jesus told the disciples to gather the leftover pieces so that nothing would be wasted, they filled 12 baskets. 12 full baskets, from 5 loaves and 2 fish. The number 12 is not accidental. There were 12 disciples, 1 basket per person, as if Jesus was making sure that each one of them held the evidence of the miracle in their own hands. You carried the bread out. Now carry back what is left. Remember what you saw. Remember what you held. Remember what happened when a boy offered what little he had and placed it in the hands of the Son of God. That boy did not offer much, but he offered everything he had, and that was enough. Whatever you are facing right now, whatever crowd of problems surrounds you, whatever impossible need stands in front of you, whatever small and insufficient thing you are holding in your hands, the same Jesus who fed 20,000 people on a hillside with a child's lunch is the same Jesus who is looking at what you have right now. Not at what you lack, at what you have. He looks up to heaven. He gives thanks, and he breaks it open, and it is always enough.